Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the None of Our Businesses YouTube show and podcast. Today I have with me Nick Footer. Nick is the CEO of Intuitive Digital, which is here in the Portland metro area. They are a digital agency, digital marketing, and digital business that we're going to hear more about throughout the show. And so, yeah, thank you, Nick, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk with you today.
Well, let's jump right in there with talking about it, Intuitive Digital. Can you tell us about the company, what kind of services you offer, and who your typical clients are?
Yeah, so Intuitive Digital was founded back in 2012, and we offer a variety of services from pay-per-click advertising to search engine optimization, web design and development, and we have a variety of kind of sub-services under those three, but those are the three main services that we provide. In terms of who we serve mostly, so we really love working with nonprofits and EDUs, colleges, education, but we also have a pretty heavy focus on local businesses. So that's really where we started as an agency, is really helping small local mom and pop businesses. And so we still like working with those when we can. But we've also have evolved a little bit into more of like mid-sized businesses too. So we have a great way that we provide our services, and that is definitely scaled into larger organizations, as well as some still small. I've got a lot of love for small business, and I know a lot of them are hurting right now. So we're trying to do everything we can do to help them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to kind of go through your entrepreneurial journey somewhat here, and kind of, well, starting with how you got into digital marketing. How did you get into this field?
Yeah, so I'll take one step further back, because really what happened from an entrepreneur in general versus getting into digital. So my grandfather started a business in the 40s, which was a mops and brooms company. My dad ended up basically buying out my grandfather to become second generational owners. And it was my plan to potentially become the third generation and work for that organization, for what's now, and I believe it's still operating, although they have sold it since then, called it was called Easy Day Suburbanite or Butler. So you'll still see their mops and brooms like in Target and Fred Meyer's and a few other places under like Mr. Clean, and they also have another brand. But they sold it right as I was going into college. And so I already had this huge interest in business and operations, and what I realized, and I was like, well, now I can decide whatever I want to do. And at that point, that's right when social media was like becoming a thing. That was 2004 or so. And Facebook was just coming out. MySpace had been around. And what I really loved about the marketing side of things is just how you could connect with a user base in a way you could never before. Before like the social media, you could never really talk directly to necessarily like your customer or client in an easy way, unless they were like you were at their house doing a service for them, or and so that was something that really intrigued me in terms of like being able to connect more deeply with the target audience. And so that's really what got me into marketing is social media. And then when I graduated, I was one of 11 people who graduated from PSU in 2008 with a degree in internet marketing, which, 2008, the internet had been around for a while. There were 1,700 people who graduated with business degrees in my class, and only 11 decided that internet marketing was going to be a thing. So since then, those programs have expanded immensely, and many, many more people graduate with those types of degrees. But that was my focus in college. And then, I worked for a couple of agencies out of college also. So yeah, I went all in. I loved marketing, and I wanted to work for marketing agencies. And I just love the amount of data that you can get from digital, and how you can use that to help basically clients make more, get more leads, make more money, and grow their business.
And we talk about 2008 and that being, somewhat unique in the sense of the kind of degree that you were coming out of school with, but also, I mean, you were starting your career in our last Great Recession, essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, so do you think do you reflect on that, or does that kind of speak to you in terms of how you might be handling current times and issues? We're doing this interview now in the midst of the coronavirus crisis.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, it was good to go through that at the time. And I think it's helped me realize that we're going to get through this. This is not although this is really hard, it's very hard. Many businesses are completely shut down. So I'm not by any means diminishing how the impact of what's happening, but living through that, knowing that there will still be jobs, there will still be growth, and we'll get through it and recover and grow as a team and as a people because of it. I think is definitely positive. It's hard to see the positives sometimes. Right when you're at the worst part of like the change, cycle, right? Where like a lot of people are in the very bottom of that change cycle. They don't see a way out yet. But I do, I feel like there is some positive that's coming out of this already. And we're just going to try to do our best to grow through this and help our clients the best we can, so they can make it through also.